Welcome, world, to Life, Love, and Wellness Global, a worldwide wellness movement. I am Reverend Sandy Rogers, and as the creator of this historic event, it is my pleasure to welcome you. We come together to bring you this historic event. We have practitioners, holistic practitioners. We have medical doctors. We have spiritual individuals. This event is so lovingly dedicated to my mother, Mrs. Barbara Dean Brown. And my mother taught me like 40 plus years ago about the importance and the meaning behind herbs. And she would always say, we don't know what they putting in those pills, so you better not, get hooked on prescription drugs. And so we listened to Mom, but not all of us paid attention. My sister, bless her heart, was diagnosed recently thereafter with asthma, and she was prescribed prednisone, which is a very powerful steroid. And my sister actually got hooked on steroids, like someone out on the street kind of hooked, like on heroin or crack or something like that. And so my mom and my sister are both on the other side, living in the other dimension, but they're upholding me, and this is dedicated to their memory. So we don't want to come and make you change your mind about what you're doing. We just want to provide information to you, something different, so that you have options to choose from, so that you're not stuck. Because the environment that we now live in, the fast foods, the toxins in the air that we breathe and in the water that we drink, and the processed foods, and all of that is causing havoc on this precious body temple. So God created our bodies to heal themselves, but they can only heal themselves when they're fed and they're nourished and they're stress-free. And so the 60 or so or more experts that we have are bringing you this worldwide wellness movement in an attempt to share their testimonies and their information with you. So we have from age 14 on up. I don't even know what the oldest age is. I think 88 or something. So you see, that's a wide range of knowledge that we're bringing you. And so we hope that you come and that you get all the knowledge that you need to affect a positive change on your life, and share this with others. It's free, it's online, and so we're just so thankful that you decided to be a part of our listening community, the viewing community, and we certainly appreciate you for giving us your time of day and your energy and your efforts to being with us and to being a part of this historic event. We have pulled together people of color for you, by you, right? So we want to make sure that you understand that we too, melanated people with color, can enjoy, practice, and participate in some of these modalities that others have been doing for centuries, and that is pretty new to our community. So we talk about Qigong, we talk about meditation, yoga, spiritual work from a different perspective than religion. So we talk about the spirituality aspect. We talk about abuse in the families. We talk about all kinds of subjects because we know that in our communities there are layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff that we never talk about that's causing a negative effect on our bodies and its healing process. So we address it, whatever it is, and we hope that you will benefit from the many experts that we have, and that you walk away with lots of knowledge and lots of new information, and that you become fully empowered to share information with others. So thank you for being with us. We love you and we bless you, and we look forward to doing this again. But thanks for being here with the first one. We appreciate you.
Love and wellness. Life, love, and wellness.
DeJesus. She is just a spark of light out in this world. And so we're going to touch on several topics. And I believe one of them will be the parent of a special needs child and what opportunities that brings to her in her life, and then wherever we're led to go from there. So, Mimi, I would first like for you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Maritza DeJesus, and everyone knows me by Mimi, so everyone calls me Mimi. And I am a Latin woman raised in New York and Brooklyn. And I do have a child that's special ed. Her diagnosis at birth is CRI-DU-CHT, CRI-DU-CHT. And the short name for that is cat cry. That is her diagnosis. And they diagnosed her at birth. And at birth, what happened is they call it the cat cry because they're born with a high-pitched cry. It's the first recognition that they can tell it's a special child because then they really cry like a cat, like a real cat. So that's how they were able to diagnose her at birth. So she is now 32. And I've raised her as a single parent for 32 years. And it's still a learning journey for me, raising a special ed child. Yeah.
What type of issues did that bring up for you?
Let's see. Well, having her at a young age, I was 21 when I had her. I wasn't ready to be a parent. I really was not planning to be a parent. I had goals to be a professional dancer. I love jazz. I love butterfly dance. I love African jazz, and I've done a lot of dancing before I knew I was pregnant. And the thing was that I didn't know I was pregnant until I was 5 months already in it, and so it was very surprising for me. So I had my daughter against my will because I wasn't really ready to be a parent. I didn't want to be a parent, to be honest. So the struggle was I was young. That was the first struggle. I never really had a chance to live life yet, to explore myself yet as a dancer. So the struggle there was being young, and once I gave birth to her, everything changed. There was no teenager, there was no freedom anymore, there was no, my vision was just gone, my dreams was gone, and everything just completely changed, and when they told me at the hospital that my daughter, her diagnosis was CRI-DU-CHT, that she wasn't gonna live past 3-4 months old. And she stayed in the hospital for 3-4 months old. And I definitely still did not wanted her. And my mother, I do have to say honestly, my mother was at the hospital with me, and they asked me if I wanted to bring my child home with me. She had a feeding tube, and she couldn't drink out of the bottle, so she had a feeding tube. And I realized later on that the 3-4 months she was at the hospital was because they were doing a lot of tests and using her as a guinea pig to find out more about her. And I didn't know that at that time. So she stayed at the hospital for 4 months. And when they asked me that I wanted to bring her home with a feeding tube and teaching me how to, deal with it, I told them no. That was the truth. And my mother was there, and she started crying. And my mother's very high in faith. If there's nothing else, she believes, and she has high faith. And she said, no, I don't care what the doctor's going to say about her, that she's going to die at 3-4 months or whatever the case is. She's going to suck on a bottle before she leaves this hospital, and she's going to be okay. She's going to come home with us. So I went with my mom, and I agreed to bring my daughter home. And it was crazy because It was actually the day before she was coming home, she sucked on the bottle. She was drooling and everything because she has no sensation in her bottom jaw. She has a small little jaw. So she used to suck and her lip used to go in. And she was the prettiest little baby. And she didn't need the feeding tube anymore. And that's how my faith got stronger, because I've seen it and witnessed it. And my mother said prayer does work. Prayer is powerful. So my faith got stronger then. And I said, well, he's listening. He's going to guide me. He's with us. My daughter got out of the feeding tube and she started to suck on the bottle, and I brought her home the next day. And the challenges was that I made a lot of errands. I didn't know how to be a parent, especially to a special child. She couldn't talk. She couldn't walk. So it was a lot of struggles. It was a lot of accepting, didn't want to accept her condition, where she didn't walk till she was 5 years old. So I had a hard time with that. She was bow-legged, pigeon-toed, but she was the cutest little thing trying to walk. Oh my gosh, she was so adorable trying to walk. So what I determined to do in Brooklyn, what I did from where we lived, I walked her every day. I held her hand with her feet being all crooked, pigeon-toed, twisted in and everything. I was determined to walk her every single day, probably about 4 miles back and forth. And I did that for a long time. And my mother thought it was cruel because my baby couldn't walk. But then she walked. She walked at the age of 5 years old, you know. So it's a lot of struggle with that. But I'm so grateful that I stayed faithful, that it will get better. It will get better. Tough, but it will get better. So I would say every day was like, it was tough and then it was a miracle. Then it was tough and then I seen miracles. So I hung in there, 32 years now. I hung in there. Yeah.
What a beautiful story. And I
Yeah.
can imagine that you were a little bitter in the beginning because you felt that your life had changed so drastically with the birth of your daughter. But then you became so alive as you talked about the progress that she made, especially as a little baby, and then walking her, and the condition of her body and how beautiful she was. So that's such a wonderful, wonderful story. So as she gets older, does the challenges change?
Yeah. Well, looking at today she's 32 and she's still mentally as a 7-year-old. So basically, we have our children and at a certain age, 19, 20, we'll be happy that our kids can move on, go to college, get married, and move out the house. Well, my reality was that my child would never move out my house. And I will always be caring for my daughter as a 5-year-old, and she's 32. So I think about it sometimes. I say, wow, everything that we do for a 5-year-old, like I have to brush her teeth. She'll do it, but she doesn't do it properly. I have to do all her hygiene. I have to make sure she's clothed properly. Sometimes she wear her clothes backwards. She don't know how to tie her shoelace. She don't know how to zipper her jacket. So everything is still hands-on guidance, and it's still like she's a 5-year-old. I have to make sure I watch her when she's eating, particularly also because she doesn't have much sensation on her bottom jaw. So I have to always watch her, that she chew her food and chop her food down like she's a baby still. So there's still a lot that I do with her as a 32, but it's still a 5-year-old. And it's a lot of work. It's exhausting, very, 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 very exhausting as a single parent still raising her by myself. But I've seen a lot of progress with her. A lot of progress. She loves to swim, so she's into swimming therapy. She loves music, so she's into music therapy. She loves to dance. She's into Zumba. She does basketball. Now she wants to learn piano, and she wants to learn to read. So I'm excited about her still growing. She's such a beautiful. She has a lot of love in her heart, and I know that comes from her mama. And she loves to take care of other kids. When she see other kids, and we are in an event, she sees other kids that are less fortunate than her on a wheelchair, and they can't talk and stuff like that, or they had a hard time walking. She always just goes right to the kids and wants to help everybody possible, and I love that about her, and it's just a lot, it's a lot. Her progress is slow, but she's learning. She's still learning. I'm still learning through her, how to be more patient, how to just know that have faith that it will get better. If she's not able to tie her shoelace today, she will one day. So that's what I always tell her. Oh, it's okay. We'll practice and you'll do it one day. Her swimming right now, she's in swimming classes, and she used to wear a full vest to swim, but now she's wearing a little belt to swim. So mama don't know how to swim. So hopefully one day she could teach me how to swim. But her progress is slow, but it is getting better. My faith has gotten really, really stronger. My patience gotten a lot better. I have to learn to, some things I had to learn to really just kind of ignore, not get too excited, not get too upset, or sometimes I feel, what's the word I can say? Shameful sometimes. Like when you're around other people, people will make you feel like they're still ignorant adults. I'll forgive children because children don't know better, but adults sometimes can be still a little ignorant and harsh. So they'll give her a certain look. But my daughter has such a strong confidence, that if she doesn't know how to climb up in the park, they have a little thing where you climb up to get on the slide. And because she still has a hard time with her feet, she'll try it. She'll get along with any kid, and she'll try it until she can't do it no more. And she said, well, I'll go to something else. And a lot of times I'll see how the parents will look. So it gets a little harsh sometimes. But I've learned to just still focus that my daughter's still learning. My daughter's a special gift. She is my gift. I truly, truly, truly believe my daughter is my guardian angel. She really is my guardian angel. So it's still a journey. It's still a journey for both of us.
Yeah, I believe your daughter is teaching others.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How acceptance and unconditional love. So
yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And so you talk about possibly the same issues that all parents have, and in caring for your child. Mm-hmm. It's just that yours has lasted longer than most parents. Do you find it difficult to keep balance in your life? Do you take time out for yourself? Do you make sure that in order to give your daughter the best, that you're giving yourself the best first?
Yeah, that's the hard part there. As a parent, we just give, and totally forget about self. So the balancing part with that, it's difficult. It's gotten better for me now, where I got myself involved in a small women's group, but basically the women's group is called Butterfly Sisters, and we're learning how we're growing, changing from a caterpillar to a blossom butterfly, and learning self-love. And all that I do for my daughter, I still have to remember what is my self-love. And my self-love, I started saying to myself is that I am a super mama. What is my strength as a super mom? What is my strength of self-love? And it's confidence. I continue to have confidence. I continue to have faith. I continue to want to share love, continue to want to educate people as much as I can, to share, the education and the love. And just continue to give myself the affirmation of self-love. Mom, you got to give yourself self-love. So it's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing, to give self-love and not get caught up always on having to give my daughter and do for my daughter and stuff like that. So it's getting a little better. Right now in my life, I am tired. As a parent, I'm really tired. I'm very exhausted, to be honest with you. But I think of, I'm going to give you an example. Last night, I have a best friend that also does butterfly dancing. And she's been my friend maybe close to 30 years in New York. She's still in New York. And her late age, she's also my age, 54. She just had a son. Her son is 10. And he's autistic. And of course, she kind of leans a lot on me because she doesn't know anyone that close and really seen from experience raising a child with special needs. So she depends a lot on me, and she asks me for a lot of suggestion. And last night, her son has gotten to the point, he's a boy, and he's very aggressive. He's hitting her now. He's very angry and very aggressive, that he's becoming very verbal towards her. And she's soft-spoken. She's laid back. So I had to give her that tough side, like, if old Dave, if you got the whip they behind, you need to whip they behind to let them know who's boss. Whether they special or not, they do have some kind of common sense. They kind of know what they're doing, so they push buttons. So that's what her son is doing, because he know that she's soft-spoken and she's laid back. So she's, it just overwhelms me. Sometimes I wish that I can be there for a lot of the parents and take away a lot of that struggle that I've been through when my daughter was young. It's a lot easier now that she's getting older, a little easier. But she's going through the beginning stages of the kid when they're young. And it's hard. Oh my God, it's so hard. So all she do is cry. And she's losing faith. She wants to give up. She wants to give the child up. Send him to a home and have someone else raise him, or so forth. And so what I want to do, if I can't do nothing else, is my dream right now today, honestly, is to have a spa. Reflexology, I've learned this in New York, which treatment with acupuncture, treatment with chiropractor, treatment with reflexology, treatment with massage, anything that we could possibly do on a natural, holistic approach to release stress, because stress is a killer. I know that personally. Stress will kill you. And there's nothing wrong with you health-wise. You get really stressed where the body can't take it, your body's going to shut down. So stress is something that we can't afford to live every day being overly stressed. So I want to have a spa, just something real simple, and have a reflexology for the women, sit in a nice massage chair while they're sitting down doing reflexology, and then give them like a half-hour body massage. And in an atmosphere where the aromatherapy really sets in, the music sets in, and bright, beautiful colors that make you feel like you in motherland, because that's what I want to call it, the motherland. I'm doing raw foods. I do believe that we are what we eat. Eating healthy is a big form of self-respect, and I want to continue to learn that. I have a house now, so I want to grow my own vegetables and fruits and learn to be a gardener. So that's a project that I want to continue to start now. And then just eating more healthier. My parents are from Puerto Rico, born in Puerto Rico and raised in Brooklyn, but we still believe in doing everything as natural as possible for any illness or dis-ease of the body. Basically, to me, I learned when the body is going through something, the body is lacking something. We need to find out what it is before we even start man-made medicine or whatever. I believe the body heals itself. I truly believe that. And it's a mind, body, and soul. I'm really strong on that. But this post here that I have, I love it. It says, the cell in our bodies are listening and is responding, is listening and responding to everything our mind is saying. So if I say that's not going to happen, that's not possible, well, that's negative. And to me, well, the body naturally is going to build negative cells. So if we're saying something positive, like it's going to happen, it's out in the universe, it's going to happen, this is what it is, I vision it, it's going to happen, and you go for it, and all the self-love and all the self-talk and a positive talk, what it does on the positive talk, it boosts your immune system with all the positivity. So then on the other side of that, it's going to build positive cells. So I'm really, really serious about that. And all that I do every day is possible. As much as I can, I try to still keep something positive going on, because I can't afford the stress to kill me. Not today. And also young, I was diagnosed HIV positive after the fact I gave birth to my daughter. So that's 30 years plus being HIV positive. I've learned a lot and been through a lot. And I have a lot to share that will give other people hope and faith that it does get better.
Life